What do you two want? You ate my roast beef in the kitchen when I wasn't looking. Now you think I own you? You're not a dog. You're a mouse. Go away. You don't live here. Beat it. Beat it. This is the 2016 Mazda 6 sedan. We're told that for this year it's been improved over the previous 2015 model. Other cars in this class this competes with would be the Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, and the Ford Fusion. Now all three of those outsell the Mazda, but you might want to take a look at this before you buy the other three because in many ways it's a better car. For starters, this car is totally made in Japan by Japanese workers. Now to some people that's an advantage because it usually assures great quality control. Others want vehicles made in America. Hey, it's your choice, but I think this is a positive feature. Now there are three versions to choose from. The base is the Sport, which starts at $21,000. Comes with a 6-speed manual transmission. And like all other models, has the 184 horsepower 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. Next up is the Tourer model, and then the third top of the list is this one, the Grand Touring version, or the Mazda 6 GT as it's called. Now the Grand Touring version is loaded with all kinds of goodies, way too long to read here, and goes for $30,195. And that's enough car for me, but we have a technology package that runs around $2,100. And some other minor options which brought the price to $33,395. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad deal because actually I think the price is reasonable for what you're getting, but I can't believe they're charging an extra $75 for a cargo mat. I mean, come on guys, if you're paying this much for a premium model, shouldn't that be standard? And I guess it's not Mazda's fault because most of the car makers seem to be doing this. Adding these $50 options here, $25 options there. That's fine on a $18,000 special, but not on a premium car. Oh well, that's just the way it is. And I'm sure every GT out there will have this option on anyway, so you're not going to cheat it out of your floor mat. Now all the Mazda 6 vehicles are going to come with this 184 horsepower 2.5 Skyactiv technology engine. The 6-speed manual box is rated at 25 in the city, 37 on the highway with an average of 29. The automatic increases this to 26 in the city, 38 in the highway with a 30 average overall. On the technology package option, we have something called electric assist, and we'll talk about that later. It increases gas mileage to 28 in the city, 40 on the highway with an overall average of 31. Now I'm at city commuting. At the moment I'm getting 33 miles per gallon, which is very good. But I want to point out one thing with this power plant. Even though it is economical, don't think this is some slug that has to really burn itself up to get any acceleration. This is a very high performance engine that loves to be revved. Works great with the 6-speed manual, even if you do get less gas mileage. A very nice engine. In fact, a version of this power plant will be in the new 2016 Mazda Miata sports car. And rightfully so. It's a good choice and should work great with the manual transmission. Here's an overall view of the Mazda interior, which is hard to see because they sent me one with black. If you've driven one with the tan interior, it looks a lot better. Take note. And there seems to be more room in the back seat here. Now some of the features of the previous model have been carried over to the new model. We get a nice gauge cluster, for example. A decent sized glove box, although it does seem to have shrunk just a little bit. That's okay, big enough. We get an auto dimming mirror that has a disconnect switch for driving in heavy traffic. Unfortunately, there are two downsides. The previous model had very simple knobs for the climate control and radio, and Mazda's gotten away from that using one of these fancy knobs like we get on the BMW and Audi cars. I guess they want to do an upgrade. Once you figure the system out, it's okay, but it's not simple at all and kind of a pain in the butt. You'll get used to it, I guess. And there's one thing I've noticed on this newer model, which I don't recall on the older model, and that's the way the dash reflects into the windshield on a hot sunny day. Look here, you can see the air vents reflecting, the console programmer reflecting, and the stereo speaker reflecting. This isn't anything serious, but it's very, very annoying. Here from another sun angle, you can see even more reflections. However, I'm willing to give Mazda some slack here because of the way it drives, and there's certainly no complaints here. The steering has great feel. You've got a very comfortable ride with excellent handling. The brakes work perfect. And if you want to go a little bit faster, you press the magic sport button, which puts the transmission in a more aggressive mode. Unfortunately, it cuts out the overdrive, so not a good idea for highway cruising, but great for the city. More than adequate power. The Mazda 6 is a very nice highway car. The ride is very comfortable. The high-speed stability is excellent. The wind noise is there, but it's reasonably low, so it's not going to bother you. If you need to pass on the freeway in a hurry, that's what they got paddle shifters on the steering wheel for. Like so. Also, in the past 82 miles of driving, which is slightly uphill, I'm getting over 34 miles per gallon, which is certainly reasonable. Alright folks, here's my best highway mileage, 38.9 miles per gallon, running between 60 and 75 miles per hour. And I think that's the best we're going to see. Now most of these YouTube car testers only test their vehicles during the day, but we test the vehicle at night so we can see how the headlight performance is. Which is why you should be watching my videos instead of theirs. So let's go see how the headlights work. Okay, from a distance of approximately 100 feet, which is what you'll be doing in close city traffic, here are the high beam settings. Lots of light here. Low beams are bright, but cut off quite a bit. If you're on backcountry roads, you might want to put these back on. Okay, our long distance headlight test, approximately 300 feet, more than adequate. Low beams, still bright, but still quite low. Overall, it passes. But like I said, if you're driving on back roads where there's wildlife, you might want to keep those brights on. Now, before we conclude the test on the car, we need to look at the GT technology package that they're charging $2,100 for. It includes a lane departure warning system. Then there's something called the IE loop, which is basically a separate charging battery system that runs the air conditioner and other vital things to help get better gas mileage, and apparently that works since I got the 38, 39 mpg on the highway, which is only 2 or 3 mpg less than what I got on the Toyota Prius on the same road and driving conditions, by the way. You also get the radar-operated cruise control, which uses a radar system to accelerate or decelerate the car to keep a certain distance with the car in front of you, a system that I do not like. It's something that encourages lazy driving. Fortunately, you press a button down for several seconds, and it overrides that system to give you conventional cruise control, which is what I use. Then here is a radar-operated brake support system. At speeds between 4 to 19 miles per hour, if the radar detects something in front of the vehicle, like a pedestrian or another vehicle, it slams on the brakes and stops for you. Again, I don't like this because it encourages lazy driving, and secondly, the only thing that should be stopping the car is your foot on the brake, not the car. I don't like this system. It can be turned off, by the way, which I did during my test. Now last year we had a 2015 Mazda 6 with this system and we tested it to see if it worked. We're going to run those clips right now and show you what happened. Now the Mazda 6 has two so-called safety options that I have mixed emotions about. One's an automatic braking system called Smart City Brake Support. The way it works, if you're driving down the road and you're not paying attention because you're texting, talking on the phone, and you don't see that truck in front of you, the system slams on the brakes, saving your bacon. And I'm not going to actually do this here with a real truck, because if it doesn't work, I'll total a $30,000 car. However, I can demonstrate it on something else, as we'll see here. Now, on the positive side, the automatic braking system stopped the car just before the cardboard, all by itself with no help from me. Now, the question I had, what if this is a piece of cardboard blowing around in one of these Arizona dust storms we have? Will the car stop then too if this cardboard flies in front of the car? And what if I have a truck in back of me hauling about 10,000 pounds of tomatoes? Kaboom! I'm not sure I like this option. To my surprise, I also found out that hanging tree branches can cause the car to stop. Interesting. Look, in my opinion, things like automatic braking and radar cruise control shouldn't be on a car. I don't think they have anything to do with safety at all. I think they're dangerous. But I'm not picking on Mazda here. It's a supply-demand thing. There are people who demand radar cruise control and automatic braking because they think it makes the car safer, so Mazda has to sell it to them. And so be it. But I wouldn't buy it. It's just my opinion. But if you want it, you can have it. If you do a lot of dumb things like texting or reading newspaper while you're driving, this might save your hide, but you shouldn't be doing that in the first place. This encourages bad driving, and that's why I don't like it. So the question we have to ask ourselves, the 2015 Mazda 6 was rated in the top 10 cars by many automotive publications. Will the 2006 retain that title? I think it will. The only negative thing I can find about the car is what I mentioned earlier, the way the dash reflects in the windshield. But that's really not a deal breaker, just something you have to live with. In any case, the price is certainly right, starting at $21,000. This one was loaded up with all the goodies, so it was $33,000. And for that price, you're not only getting excellent economy, but you're getting good performance too, with some good Japanese quality. So if you're looking at a Ford Fusion or a Toyota Camry or Honda Accord, make sure you check this one out too before you buy anything. By the way, if the Mazda 6 is too expensive for you or you need something a bit smaller, you need to check out this Mazda 3. It's basically the same car, just a bit on the chop side and a lot less money. In fact, we have a video on that coming up right now if you click on the link.